Welcome, Walnut. I'm Lara, but you can call me Laz, your host for Walnut Wednesday. This is your reminder to be brave, be yourself, and know that you can make the world a better place just by what you decide today. Here, I'm going to share my weekly walnuttings with you on a Wednesday.
Hello Walnut, it is me Laz here for another episode of Walnut Wednesday. How are you this week? Let me know how you are, join my group, share all the things, but I'm so excited to talk to you this week. And I'm going to nerd out a little bit on human design. Now, if you do not know what human design is, it's kind of a long story, but I think if you're here, Walnut, you kind of do. But basically, human design is a mixture of astrology, the Chinese I Ching, the chakra system, and the Kabbalah, I believe. It's a big, huge rabbit hole that you definitely will get addicted to if you do. But you can get your free chart at jovianarchive.com or mybodygraph.com. Disclaimer, you will need your accurate birth time and date. So if it might not be 100% if you don't know exactly time to the minute that you were born. But my walnutting this week I wanted to share with you is my musing on the relationships of human design, because I'm a generator, which is about 70% of the population, and Geordie is a projector, which is a really delicious, wonderful mix. And I just kind of wanted to share, Walnut, about how wonderful when you work in your alignment, it can kind of like work out really well. And the example I want to share with you this week, Walnut, is because Geordie and I are renovating. We just bought a house. If you haven't been here for the last few eps, we just bought a house, so our weekends have been most spent doing renovations, painting, ripping the walls off, doing all the things, having multiple arguments along the way because that's just a given. But I had a really cool example just this weekend past where so me as a generator, I have this life force energy. I can go all the time. Whereas Geordie is a projector. Projectors are only meant to work about like 4 to 6 hours a day. And in that 4 to 6 hours, that is so productive, so delicious that they'll get the same amount done as what me as a generator would get done in a whole, a full day. And this is funny because I've actually noticed this in the renovations of the house. Like something that takes, say, painting like 3 walls would take me like XYZ amount of time. But when Geordie's gone over and done something similar, I'm like, whoa, holy shit, you've smashed that, So it's really interesting, like just now having that knowledge of human design and kind of applying it into my life, and now having the opportunity to kind of notice it. So this weekend that's just passed, I got up early and we both kind of just acknowledged that in each other. I have that energy. I want to go and get it out and release it. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to go over and start painting. And Geordie said, okay, cool. I'm going to lay in bed till 9 and then I'll come over after. And that is great. That was great. And that was fine because we both know that I know Geordie will come over and he will like smash something out. And I know that I wanted to go and start early and didn't want to lie in bed. So he needed to acknowledge his rest and I needed to express my energy, which was like really beautiful. And where was I kind of going with this, Walnut? I think it's just that acknowledging that in each other, acknowledging what we kind of both need as people as well. I don't know if you've heard of like the 5 or 4 languages of love. My love language is acts of service, like doing stuff for other people, which is like, as a generator, do all the things. And also gifts, like receiving and giving gifts, and Geordie's is kind of like quality time. So if you mix kind of that with like our human designs, it's really funny because I actually appreciate being alone a lot, and Jordan works better when he's around other people to motivate him too. So my going over earlier, I got my own time, and then when he came over, he got that together time as well. So I don't know, it's just been this really cool balance of noticing, having that awareness and living with that intent, I guess. So Walnut, my walnutting this week, I just wanted to say and share with you how the stuff that I have been applying over my whole walnut journey, the human design stuff, I mean, like, you can take that with a grain of salt if you want to in the love language thing, but how I have been walnutting and all the little woo-woo things, and not even just woo-woo, just the personal development things that have slowly been growing over this time throughout my journey, have played such an important part in my relationships, because we have that awareness, and so by default my acknowledgement of these things has filtered onto Geordie, so he's got that acknowledgement of me as well, and the people around him as well, and it just opens up this better space for communication, better space for walnutting, and just living a really delicious life. And I feel like the things that I have now put my energy into, because I have this awareness, right, are so different to that drained, burnt out, people pleasing. I used to feel like such a doormat, whereas now I have this, I walk around with this like weird sense of empowerment literally every day, because I can read between the lines. I can read between how I'm acting or how someone else is acting, and understand the why behind it, because of, yes, sometimes human design, their love language, but it's mainly just about how I choose to respond and what I choose to be in that moment for myself. And I think of future lads, right? That people say, like, think of your higher self and do what they would do. But I think of, how am I going to make it easier for myself in the long run? So, and usually that comes up with the need to walnut, or the need to say a thing. And all those practices of those little walnuttings have, like, yes, Geordie and I still argue like literally all the time, but we have this new sense of understanding. Example, same day, he brassed me off, like, incredibly. Like, I could really, when you just want to murder your partner, that feeling. And he recognized straight away, like, what had happened, sort of thing. And I needed my alone space. And he knew that that's what I needed. So I went and painted a different room, shut the door, put my music on really loud, and he acknowledged that. And that was his kind of like giving me my act of service and giving me my own time. So that's kind of a poor example, Walnut, but I don't have anything. I didn't do notes. I don't have anything else to give you, but I hope you kind of get what I'm saying. But basically what I'm saying, Walnut, is that my journey of walnutting on all the little things, celebrating them along the way, and taking those moments where I kind of wanted to poop my pants and didn't want to deal with the confrontation, but did it anyway, have led me to a place where even to the point where my arguments with, like, my partner, if you don't argue in a relationship, is it even a relationship? But to the point where when we're arguing, they are resolved or fixed in the time that it takes for us to gather ourselves. Like, sometimes I need my own time, sometimes whatever, like, because we acknowledge in each other what that person needs in that moment, despite still arguing, if that makes sense. So my walnutting this week is that I've realized all the stuff about myself, and I love it, and I feel really empowered. So gone off the tangent of the human design a little bit, haven't we? But basically what I wanted to share, Walnut, is that keep going. What you're doing is amazing, and celebrate the small stuff, celebrate your baby steps, because one day you're going to get to a place where you're like, oh my God, did I just communicate that well? Fuck yeah, I did. And it's going to feel really weird, and it's going to feel really delicious, but there's like this confidence that kind of grows. And that's the thing that I was missing when I first started Walnut Wednesday. I didn't know what confidence was, like really. And I wouldn't call myself confident now, but the way I carry myself is somewhat with confidence. So I'm kind of mind fucking myself, and I'm kind of going around in a little bit of a tangent, but it all kind of does lead to one. But basically, your walnuttings are validated. Go you for doing your walnutting and keep going and keep trying. That's all I want to say. So with that, have a happy Walnut Wednesday. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being here, for listening to my walnuttings, for being here on my walnut journey, and for walnutting yourself. You are beautiful, you are sexy, and you are delicious. And I will talk to you next week.